You know Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking Five Nights at Freddy's got fingered. It's like, you know the Daddy Would You Like Some Sausage thing?
God.
So you edit that in, like, when you go down on the screen, and he's, like, doing the sausage thing.
Now that's a jump scare.
Yeah, but just put up, like, clips of him, like, doing, like, stupid shit, and then having those, like, in the, like, photoshopped into those rooms, so, like, every so often you pull something up.
I actually did something kind of funny. Apparently, Tom Green is still relevant somewhere, but he got some heat recently for talking shit about juggalos. And my first thought was, who the fuck is still listening to Tom Green anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he stopped being, interesting at all.
Yeah, I know. After him and Drew Barrymore split, and, he got, like, testicular cancer and lost one of his balls, and...
Yeah.
And last I heard, he was quite literally just in his basement doing these things. Like, making his videos.
Tom Green, you've lost your balls. A picture of a guy up there for me.
Anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
That's true.
What we're talking about today...
Well, in a vague roundabout way, it kind of does. On some topic level. Because I was talking about, to him earlier off camera, about WWE video games. And that actually led to a discussion about the decline of women wrestlers, and which then brought up a whole thing about gender bias and double standards and shit like that. I really don't think we're mature enough to handle this topic, but we're going to give it a shot.
I'm mature enough to handle it.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, the biggest problem that I've noticed is, before, there were the games on the PlayStation. You could make a male or female wrestler, and they competed at the same level no matter what gender they were. So women could compete with men could compete with women, they could win each other's belts. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but it was fair. There was an equality to it.
Yep.
And then that started to change. I think the last game that allowed for intergender battling was the 2009 game on the PS3. Because that's when I noticed it. We actually had mixed tag team division in our little Creator Wrestler Federation that was based off of our old backyard wrestling days.
Maybe we'll do a Let's Play on that, too. We were talking about last episode, the board game thing.
The sad thing is, you're not going to see this, but he keeps trying to reach over. The producer's trying to give us the notes on the episode. He doesn't like the direction we're taking.
We see these little chubby baby fingers coming up over the table holding a bottle.
Yeah. And we keep telling him we don't take notes, but he just doesn't want to listen.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, in the 2009 game, men and women can compete with each other on a fair level. We can have a mixed tag match, and if at one point the female wrestler got tagged in and the other guy was still in the ring, the other male wrestler, they could grapple. They could smack each other around. Then, with the focus on the WWE divas instead of the actual women wrestlers, the whole thing became kind of a, carnival act. Now it's just hot women in skimpy outfits shaking their booties on the camera. It's not about wrestling. It's just about them looking pretty.
Yeah, they basically just hired strippers, more or less, to fill their roster.
It's like they hired low-grade fitness models to prance around the ring in skimpy outfits. And that's fine. But they're still trying to pass it off as wrestling, which is bullshit. So, fast forward. I just got WWE 13, the 2013 game, in 2014. But, I'm always a little behind. But I wanted it because some of the Attitude Era wrestlers that you can unlock were actually things I wanted to play as. Like Gangrel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's in there.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take some work to get that one, though. I have to unlock shit.
Spraying blood on your mom's ceiling.
Yeah, they finally figure where that came from. But yeah, so basically, I started playing the game, and I put together a mixed tag match. 2 creator wrestlers, a male and a female. It was just 2 teams. So there's one point where one of the male wrestlers gets dragged into the other team's corner. He's getting wailed on, and they tag out. He can't tag out. So he's actually getting wailed on by the female wrestler. And I'm like, well, that's going to end in a DQ because that's the new rule. In intergender mixed tag matches, if one person of a gender hits another person, it's over. But, she actually put a substantial hurt on that wrestler before he finally turned around and popped her back. And as soon as he hit her, even though they were both legal wrestlers in the ring, the match ended in the disqualification, and the other team lost because the guy hit the girl. Now, okay, fine. You don't hit girls. That's what we teach everybody. You don't hit girls, you don't hit girls. Which by itself is actually very unfair.
Yeah, it's very gender biased, because, honestly, you should be teaching people not to hit anyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if you're going to hit someone in anger, don't.
Yeah. It's like, don't hit a dude, don't hit a chick. It's not really just don't hit women.
Yeah, don't hit people. But because they have this perception that the females in their game are apparently weaker than the males, that they have to be treated specially. Women can't fight men in single matches anymore. Women can't compete for the same belts that the men compete for. And why is that? Really, are we trying to say that women are inherently weaker? That's what it seems that they're saying in the game.
Yeah. That's all just the tip of the iceberg, though, because talking about gender inequality is actually kind of funny, because, you can see it, like, almost literally everywhere in media or anything else.
Yeah.
Like, what actually spawned this whole thing was that if a guy poses naked, that's what it was. If a guy poses naked, nobody else there, it's considered gay porn.
Like, if I did a shoot for Playgirl magazine, that would be considered my foray into gay porn.
Exactly.
Because women don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. If a woman is naked on something, it's for men. If a man is naked for something, it's for men.
Yeah. None of this porno stuff is for women.
Yeah.
Because we all know that y'all don't watch this stuff.
Just like you don't watch this, but, we'll keep making it, just like they make porn.
This.
Dave will be in a G-string on the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
But only if we get 100 likes.
Yeah, if we get 100 likes on this video, I'm going to dress up in a G-string.
Remember that. Just for that, I think we'll get downvoted.
Your flag is inappropriate.
Yeah. Anyway, the comparison to this. Okay, so, if a guy poses naked for anything, it's gay porn, because obviously he's doing it for men.
Yeah.
Right? If a guy's on cam doing stuff, I don't know, jerking off or whatever, it's for men. It's gay porn. If there's a woman scissoring another woman on camera, it's for men.
Which is the general idea.
But women can do the most, homosexual acts, and it's still for men.
Mm-hmm.
If a man does something that's, seemingly innocuous in regards to that, like I said, like just posing naked, then it's considered, homoerotic.
And that is terribly unfair.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a weird double standard, because women watch porn.
Yeah. They don't make a big deal out of it. Some of them do. I've known plenty of women that like watching porn.
Yeah, and there are some women that brag about it because, I don't know, I guess they think that it's, like, sexy to men because not very many women actually will admit that they watch porn.
Yeah. That should be a new book. Right up there with Everybody Poops. Like, everybody watches porn.
We'd have to sell it in porn stores, though, because the cover, I'm imagining, probably you can't
Well,
put
it would just be like, like a split screen of 4 different people. Like an old guy, a young woman, an old guy, and a couple of little boys around a computer going... Because, that's how it starts now. You get started early, you do a Google search for boobs, and all of a sudden, snicker, look at the screen.
Exactly. Like, if you're old enough to know how to turn the safety off on Google, the entire world is yours.
Yeah.
As far as curiosity goes.
Yeah, you really don't have to know that much. But yeah, that's the double standard. All porn is made for men. There's no such thing as porn made for women, because women don't watch that.
Exactly. It's rather insulting, in my opinion.
Yeah. If I were a woman, I'd be, a little bit upset about that statement.
Yeah.
Because it's right up there with, women can't do fill in the blank. It's like, yeah, they can. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, exactly. Or women, shouldn't do, like, whatever.
Yeah. Like, there's no reason that this day and age that a woman should be doing yada yada yada. And that's bullshit, too.
Yeah, exactly. And, women do pretty much everything that men do. For the most part.
Yeah. It's true. You're like, oh, girls don't read comic books. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Girls don't play video games. Of course they do.
Actually, that was another bullshit thing I was going to bring up in this episode was the Gamergate thing. Do you remember that with the whole
I didn't pay any attention to it, but I remember it.
Yeah. Well, I think the gist of it more or less was that guys were gender shaming women, saying that they shouldn't be playing video games or something because they were all virgins.
Death and rape threats going around, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. Because you're a woman, you feel like you're being singled out. But these are the same guys that would call their friends, filthy faggots.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really doing it because you're a chick. You're doing it either because they're better than you, or you're better than them, or they're intimidated by you. So they say, all this stuff, and they throw it out there like, oh, well, I'm behind a screen. Who's going to know it's actually me typing? And they type whatever they want because behind a screen, everyone's anonymous and everyone's got,
AIDS and shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, bias against female gamers for some bizarre reason. Because, it's not just the ones at cons, like the sexy dress-up chicks, I'm going to be Cammy because I know nothing about, video games, but, I Googled, sexy anime characters, or,
Well, these days, those kind of cosplayers are few and far between.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, these days, the cosplay community has gotten to the point where if you were just like, I feel like cosplaying today, I'm going to look up sexy anime characters. It's going to be like, nobody puts that much effort into it if they just want to be the sexy anime chick.
Yeah.
No one actually goes, they go to a Halloween store online and buy a costume of whatever character is readily available or whatever's popular. And they just run with that.
Yeah.
Even the ones that actually do really sexy cosplays are extremely dedicated cosplayers.
Yeah.
And they're pretty dedicated to their source material because the cosplay community will chew you a new asshole if you are not dedicated to your source material.
Yeah. And you can really say, I mean, it's not their fault, especially if they're very accurate to their costumes, because, damn, if you've seen some, video game character costumes, or...
And there's elitists in every subculture, so yeah, granted, not every cosplayer is going to give you shit because you just wanted to look like the sexy girl from that video game, but there are quite a few snobs out there that are going to come down on you like a hammer and make you cry because you wanted to be the sexy character from the video game.
Yeah.
And all you bought was a Halloween costume. How dare you exist?
Yeah. But even the chicks that take this stuff seriously, people don't like, it's like, oh, you're a chick who plays video games? Well, you just probably play, Peach's Adventure.
Mm-hmm. Like, you play those cooking games on the Wii?
Yeah, it's just another bias thing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there aren't as many girls that play video games, but honestly, I think a lot of them just don't get exposed to it. I think a lot of, children these days, their parents play video games or what have you, and they're like, okay, son, we're going to sit down and play Super Mario Brothers together or what have you. But, the girl's like, go play with your Barbies.
Which is really where all this starts. All this gender bias bullshit. We can blame the people who are doing it. We could, turn around and blame the victim. That's popular these days.
Yeah.
So let's turn around and blame the victim. But the problem is, it really all comes down to what are they learning and where are they learning it from. If you teach your kids that G.I. Joe is for boys and Barbie is for girls, then you're part of the problem. Because starting at, age, as soon as you're fucking born, what do? Oh, well, you're having a girl, everyone buys you pink blankets and cute pink outfits. Because pink is a girl color.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm having a boy. Oh, we're going to get you a fire truck.
Yeah. We popped out with this guy, my wife and I, and we got a bunch of blue stuff.
Because boys are blue and girls are pink.
Yeah, exactly.
And that started from the minute he was born. From the moment, even before he was actually popped out of his womb with a view, he actually was predetermined. They were like, hey, we're having a boy, and everyone's like, congratulations, blue stuff.
He had blue blankets. Even now, he's wearing blue jeans.
Although that's...
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, because blue jeans, everybody likes blue jeans.
Exactly, even though I'm wearing, I think, gray.
I'm wearing blue.
Yeah, see? He's part of the problem.
I'm also wearing brown. What does that make me?
Everybody send troll comments, because he's, like, gonna be, doing that. We haven't had any good trolls since we've stopped the fitness episodes.
I know, right? It's like we lost all of our good haters.
And our fans, because we used to get, 70 views an episode, and now we get, 5. But
when we were putting on the thin veneer of a fitness show, that's when people were like, hey, you think you know stuff, and now we're talking about nothing. And there's really no way to troll a show about nothing.
yeah. That's why Seinfeld was so popular, because people really didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't hate on it. I mean, that episode was stupid. Like, okay, so?
Yeah. I mean, when the show went off, it was still extremely popular when it went off the air, just the actors didn't want to do it anymore.
Which is the way you ought to go out in a TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the gender biasing, yeah, I mean, from the beginning, when I go down the aisles at my local toy store, I can get a Nerf gun. And it's, orange and yellow and ugly colors because they have to make them look not like real guns. Hideous, ugly colors. So what do? They think girls might want to play with Nerf guns. So do they try and market them towards girls? No, they change their entire fucking product. Make them in purple and pink with cute little tribal marks and pink darts because girls like pink.
Yeah, my daughter has the same exact version of the crossbow, but that one is orange and red, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
This one is white, and it has, the little tribal swoop things, and it has flowers on it.
Yeah, why can't I have tribal swoops?
Yeah.
Maybe I wanted tribal symbols.
Exactly.
But no, it has to be all cute and decorative. Has to look like a tramp stamp on a Nerf gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just calling it like I see it.
Yeah.
The other thing, Legos. I was so fucking angry about that. Because I'm a Lego fan. I love Legos. I got Legos that I just keep, on display in my apartment. I got the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean pirate ships, the whole Pharaoh's Quest collection, all Egyptian themes, look like Stargate. But the problem is, I go to the store, and they have Legos for girls, called Lego Friends. The minifigures are actual dolls about that tall with clothes that can be interchanged. Because girls, care about shopping and clothes. And the buildings are mostly just shops or a nail salon, where you basically play with the dolls in that structure once you've built it. But then there's Legos for boys, everything else. So yeah, Jurassic Park sets, superhero themed sets. You've got Batman, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Lego's got its hands in so many different properties, and all they can think is boys' toys and girls' toys. Because, all the girls' Legos, the Lego Friends, are all purple and pink. Hideous, hideous things. Absolutely terrible. But, then there's the Ninja Turtles, which is the Ninja Turtles. It's, build a sewer play set. It's sewer colored.
Sewer colored?
Lots of grays and some browns and some greens and, It looks like something that comes out of the Ninja Turtles universe.
Yeah.
Or like the SHIELD helicarrier. I just think, there's this whole thing built up around these preconceived ideas of boys and girls, what they want. Because every girl wants that, or every boy wants that. Who says?
Yeah. I was trying to think when they did marketing on the original Avengers, everything you saw had Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, and the Hulk.
Yes.
Right? What about Black Widow and Hawkeye?
They were kind of side characters. I'd almost give them a pass on that one.
Yeah, they didn't even get their own movies, but
they were left off of everything because they don't have their own movies.
Yeah, and I kind of thought about it, they didn't get their own movies, they cameoed, Black Widow was, from Iron Man is where they introduced her, and then half-assedly Hawkeye was in the Thor movie.
But they got action figures, so there's that.
Yeah, but I mean, the big... And you'll see, Avengers 2 is going to be coming out very shortly this summer. And you know what? I doubt you're going to see them on those big billboards they have all over Walmart, Toys R Us, places like that. No, you're going to see the big four. And you're not going to see the dude who wears purple and the chick on anything.
Of course, there's also Guardians of the Galaxy. I read a lot of complaints when that came out. When they were doing the marketing, they made T-shirts that had all of the Guardians except Gamora.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was Rocket, Groot, Drax, Star-Lord, and that was it. And there was no Gamora. And people were like, hey, where's Gamora? Where's the chick? Where's the T-shirts with the chick on it? And eventually the merchants got the hint and actually put the chick on the damn shirts. But before that, it really was just a question of, like, you know, where's she at? I mean, yeah, they made an action figure. She's part of the Lego line, but she's not purple and pink. And you can't change her outfits. Stupid.
Man, that was another thing that pissed me off, actually, mentioning about the purple and pink thing. But, the Spider-Girl costumes for Halloween. See, my daughter wanted to be Spider-Girl, right? So, unfortunately, the Spider-Girl that she was had a tutu and was a pink version of the Spider-Man costume.
Yeah. It was more of a Spider-Man-themed pink dress.
Yeah, it was like a fairy costume, but
They do that with everybody, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one for Batgirl, Supergirl, where they basically... Supergirl! It is literally a chick in a Superman costume. Same thing with Spider-Girl. She's wearing a slight modification of a Spider-Man costume. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to make different fabrics.
Yeah, it's rather stupid, honestly, when you look at the Halloween costume of Spider-Girl and you see that it's now pink instead of red. I'm surprised they didn't put a little bow on the... Well, then again, they don't have a mask now. It's just like a little eye thing, I guess, so she doesn't mess up her hair as she's swinging, you know.
It's just one of those old-style Catwoman masks, you know, the little like domino mask with the extension points on the end.
Yeah. I'm surprised, she doesn't have, like, rainbow webbing that she's firing or something like that, like in the picture for the costume.
Actually reminds me of something else. Going back to toys.
Yeah.
Hercules. Okay, Hercules toys, remember those? You
Yeah.
used to see McCabe all the time. What did Hercules get for toys? He got a sword, a bow, like you can place that sword and bow where you can actually use them to play with your friends, and he got a line of action figures. Hercules, Aeolus, the Minotaur, the Centaur, the She-Demon, but they were all little plastic figurines about yay tall. So then Xena comes along. They start making Xena toys. At first, they made a couple of, little action figures, same size as the Hercules figure, so you could actually play with them. But after that, Barbies. Remember the Xena dolls that were like this tall that actually had the removable clothes and the changeable outfits and came with 2 different sets of clothes? Because Xena was all about the goddamn accessories. She wore like 3 different outfits in that entire fucking show.
Yeah, she wore a dress, and she wore 2 variations of her armor, I think.
Then there was that point where they went to Asia and they changed time periods and she was killing gods. And that show got really stupid, so I stopped watching it. But that's not the point.
Yeah, because eventually everybody stopped watching it.
Yeah, kind of. But the fact is, the Hercules toys were always Hercules figures, about yay tall, I think they made some larger plastic ones that were about this big. But they never made, like, Hercules with a removable shirt and pants that could be traded out for his other shirt and pants.
Yeah, or traded out for, like, another character's clothes.
Or Xena's face. Anyway, just whole show. Bam! Screaming halt. But yeah, that was one of the things that kind of bothered me, because we used to work at a toy store back in the day, and that's when we were seeing all this shit. And I was like, yeah, okay, so why are the Xena toys Barbie dolls? Because she's a girl, and it's a show for girls.
Yeah. So freaking stupid.
And don't get me wrong, I am all about equality and fairness. But I'm more like hardline equality. It's like, fine. You want to make Legos for girls? Give a girl Legos.
Exactly.
You want to make a Nerf gun for girls? Buy a Nerf gun and give it to a girl.
Yeah. How about this? Just kind of like sidetracking with staying on the on track. It's
Sidetrackception.
Exactly. The DC's reason for not making a Wonder Woman movie up until now. Because they don't feel that a female superhero would be well received in the box office.
Well, that, and there was some talk about people like, well, we don't know if, they really want to see a Wonder Woman movie because of the plot line, and then Marvel comes out with Guardians of the Galaxy, and like, here's a raccoon with a gun. And DC's like, oh.
Yeah.
They really will believe anything.
Yeah, but yeah, one of the big things about the Wonder Woman movie for years and years and years has been the whole, well, we don't know if people are ready for a superhero movie about a woman.
Yeah.
So that's probably why she's going to be in the, He-Man Woman's Hater, movie of Batman versus Superman just kind of thrown in there.
Mm-hmm. The only chick in the Justice League.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I know there are other women who have been in the Justice League. Stop commenting right now. But, in this particular movie, you're looking at, like, the big five. There's Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. That's it. That's the big five. Yeah. One chick, 4 guys. Which made that Justice League porno parody really interesting. Robin's like, is it my turn? Like, back of the line, old chum. Awesome. You really got to see that if you haven't, because it's a masterpiece of movie making. Anyway, sidetracked.
If you're offended, comment down below.
Yeah, comment now. Don't worry about me, talking about the Justice League. Comment about the porno parodies, because I want to hear more about that.
And then go back to 2 episodes ago, because we did a porno parodies back then.
It's true. But yeah, there is a lot of that, the double standards and the stereotyping. I mean, I play Dungeons & Dragons, and there's actually a woman in our group. Been D&D playing for a long time, role-playing actively at the table, long time. My mom used to play D&D. One of my aunts used to play with my dad and my mom. There was a whole group thing. But, and if you ask people, like Gary Gygax, the inventor of D&D, never intended this to be a game for women. He actively said that he didn't want girls around his gaming table. I think Mr. Gygax had some unquestioned or some unanswered questions about his preferences, but that's just my theory. Yeah. The man's a sainted visionary to everyone else, so,
Yeah, but never envisioning women being around his table.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've played with women before. In a D&D setting. Pregnant pause there. But yeah, it's just it's no different than playing with a group of guys. We all sit around, we make dick and fart jokes, we make funny comments, jokes about dick sizes, and she just laughs because it's funny. It doesn't even faze her a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's stupid that, it is stupid. And a girl who does things that guys do is labeled a tomboy when they're younger, too. Mm-hmm. Girls who like climbing trees.
Yeah, it's oh, she's a tomboy. Well, no, she's just
she's
a tiny person who's forming her own thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, she's just doing what you're doing, and sure, it's maybe been a lot of boys that climb trees and play baseball and things like that, but it's not exclusive to boys.
Yeah. Nothing is exclusive to anyone. I mean, that's the real point of all this. You can't say, well, we're going to market this to women or this to men. I mean, there are certain things that are exclusively marketed one way or the other, but that's just biology.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's, we're gonna make an action movie. We're gonna make Lord of the Rings. Okay, let's force a romantic subplot in there because chicks dig romance.
Yeah, if we want women, to watch this movie, we've got to put romance in there, because it can't possibly like action.
Yeah, and The Hobbit. They actually forced an entire romantic subplot into The Hobbit with that dwarf guy and the elf chick. That character of the elf chick was never supposed to be in there. And you know why that is? Because I saw a meme that really fucking annoyed me. It was a picture of the elf chick. And, it said, Tolkien managed to come up with 12 dwarf names that rhyme, but he couldn't find a part for a female in his book. So they had to make one for the movie. And it's that's because he wasn't writing a romance. He was writing an adventure. Yeah. Not everything in the universe has to have a romantic subplot.
Yeah.
I mean, basically what it comes down to is you have a group of dwarves who are going to go steal a bunch of shit from a dragon. You could have put a chick in there. It wouldn't have brought the plot down any. But it wasn't actually required. There was no purpose to it.
Yeah. I mean, dwarves aren't even humans.
Yeah.
You know?
There wasn't a single human being up until a certain point. It was hobbits, dwarves, and Gandalf. And Gandalf's not actually human, if you didn't know that.
What is Gandalf?
Wizards are their own race, apparently. I can't remember, Mithrandir or something? That Elrond called him that at some point. But that's why he lives so frickin' long, because he's not actually human.
I always thought it was just the magic, or, you know...
Well, I mean, that's one of the things he gets not being human. It's kind of like playing D&D. If you play as a certain race, you get certain benefits. Like, elves live a long time, and so do dwarves. But yeah, it's just part of being who he is. He's, just not human.
Yeah.
And even then, they gave him a romantic subplot. Mackin on Galadriel.
Wow. I'm kind of glad I haven't seen the Hobbit movies.
They're okay. I mean, it's not that they're bad. It's just that forced romantic interest. I mean, that's in everything.
Yeah.
And even when it doesn't have to be. They just can we work a love triangle or a romantic subplot in? Because that's the only thing that's going to bring in women.
Yeah, it's like, how are you gonna, how are you going to market this to women, after you bring a script in for,
I'm not. I'm going to market this to people who like action movies.
Yeah.
If they happen to be women, all the better. Maybe they'll meet someone who also likes action movies when they're at the movie.
Exactly.
But, that's trying to turn everything into a fucking dating tool, which is another problem I have in general. Facebook was started as a dating site, basically. You put up your information, you start a profile, and then people with similar interests would seek you out. And then, you make connections with people. It, quickly fell away from that, but then you got Zoosk, which is part of Facebook, which is basically Facebook's dating site.
Is that still around?
Yes.
Huh.
There was an ad for it that, got really annoying at one point. But yeah, it's still there. And it's all about, everything has to be about romance. Because that's the only way women will be interested.
Yeah. Well, as you could see, Facebook really took off, and then...
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it was a blatant ripoff of MySpace initially. Nobody likes to talk about that.
It's true.
MySpace is still around, by the way.
Yeah, I heard Justin Timberlake bought it and turned it into a music site.
Huh, is that
something.
What happened? I don't know. I just know it's still there, because...
My profile's probably still there somewhere if I ever, dug up my information and went looking for it. Not that I ever would, because I don't care. Fuck, I had a live journal before all this.
I even forgot that existed, LiveJournal.
That's what I'm saying. It was the social evolution. Yahoo Groups, LiveJournal, MySpace, Facebook, and then Twitter, but fuck Twitter. I ain't got time for all that shit.
Damn little birds. They just shoehorn everything in, Mm-hmm. But if you don't think Twitter's bullshit, subscribe to Blade Clan Fitness at Twitter.
Eventually, we'll come by and check it.
We still have that.
I remember starting it, and
yeah, it's still there.
Posted on it once or twice, shared a video link, and nobody cared, so...
Yeah.
I don't
know. Somebody retweeted one of our episodes once, I recall, a long, long time ago.
I don't know. Maybe with our current topic base, with they're just talking about random shit, we might have more luck. Because you know what? Nobody gives a shit about fitness, except people who are really into fitness. And it's like, the people who are really into fitness are up here. Our level of content was down here. Nobody gave a flying fuck what the fat man and the muscle midget had to say.
We were okay. I wouldn't say we were good. I said we were okay as far as views went.
I mean, we're not Mike Chang.
Yeah.
We're not six-pack shortcuts. We're not just, taking advantage of people. We're not Jason Genova. Your Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
The Cybog killing machine. He is on the floor somewhere. Common content, us. Jason Genova's on the floor by that scale. These are really tall chairs.
Yeah. But if you look at the scale, this is the thing that's kind of fucked up. Okay, it's like, us, Mike Chang, Jason Genova.
I actually think many people would put Mike Chang above us, but...
Well, I'm thinking as far as, actual useful content goes.
Yeah.
All right, so it was us, Mike Chang, Jason Genova. you flip the scale over to what people were actually watching, and it's Mike Chang, Jason Genova, us.
Yeah. We had good information, but, we're not really convincing because even with working out, I was still overweight. I mean, even if we had really, I'm always going to be, a big wall of a guy. Even if you can't see, if I just sat here and sucked in my gut through the whole episode, it really wouldn't, you'd never know. I mean, if I wore a muscle shirt and I kind of puffed up a bit. But, it's all the image thing, and our information, we're pretty much pulling stuff off of searches and researching things, putting together a script based on it, and throwing information out there to see what sticks. Is there an audience for that? Probably not. Well, there is kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was kind of basing the whole thing off of. There is an audience out there for it.
There's an audience out there for everything. You just gotta find it.
Yep. And you gotta find us. If you haven't found us yet, find us. We're right here.
If you haven't found us yet and you're watching this video,
then stick around.
Now my head hurts.
So, I think we'll wrap up this chat on gender equality for now.
It's just one of those things that's always going to bother me, because it's not going to change. There's always going to be, it's just like religion. There's always going to be people that no matter what are like, oh, religion in the church and, follow what God says or whoever your God is,
Yeah. I'm an atheist, but I could say if a God came down right now, 2,000 fucking feet tall, and tells everybody on the planet, all of a sudden all the TVs just go and that God's face is everywhere, and he says, I was the real God this whole time, and this is how things are, and this is how things go. There's going to be sects of people that will not accept it.
Mm-hmm.
He could be laying motherfuckers down with, heat vision or whatever.
But the good part about that scenario is the ones that are like, that's not the real God, would quickly be microwaved off the face of the earth and we wouldn't have to deal with them anymore.
Yeah. Because that God wouldn't have to prove shit to people.
Yeah. It wouldn't be like, prove you're one of us by doing stuff. It would just be like, no, I'm just going to burn your face off.
Yeah. But, being an atheist and basing everything off of, what is, logical and what isn't, I'd be like, oh, cool. Okay, then you're God. I guess I was wrong.
I guess you are God. You're 2,000 feet tall and shooting microwaves.
One thing that most religions, can't admit is that they were wrong.
But what I was really trying to get to was just the indoctrination. It's like, your grandma told your mom, hey, go to church. Listen to what God says. This toy is for boy, that toy is for girls. And it's just that whole line coming down until someone finally stops and says, you know what, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to listen to that. And then you don't teach your kids that. So, the more enlightened people that come along, you would just as soon buy your daughter a Lego set if she asked for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't hesitate to buy her a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Lego set if she said she liked the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. The other day, Saber was running down the hallway, my son, holding 2 Barbie dolls as he's, toddling along.
Yeah.
I didn't take the Barbie dolls away from him and say, no, those toys aren't for you.
Because that's what some people will do.
Yeah.
They'll look at a boy playing with a doll or a Barbie and say, hey, what are you, gay or something?
Yeah.
Because only girls and effeminate, gay guys play with dolls.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being an effeminate gay man,
But, it's the stereotype, and that's what people drill into each other's heads from, birth on up. It's just like, this is for boys, that is for girls. If you're a boy, you like sports and cars and action movies and eating raw beef.
Beef.
Raw beef. I do like raw beef. But that doesn't have anything to do with gender. It's just, really like it. Steaks, extra rare.
Yeah.
Tasty as a motherfucker.
Dab those fuckers and watch the blood just squirt up over your head.
I want a steak so rare that when I put the fork in it, it actually moves.
It tries to fight back. I want meat so rare it fights back when I try to eat it.
I want a steak so rare that, they could take it to the vet instead and actually get it back on its feet. But, that's not a gender thing. That's just my personal thing. I mean, I love cooking. That's fun. I love cooking, but cooking's a girl's thing. Women do all the cooking. Women make the babies and stay home and raise them while men go out and lift manly things for money. Or push pencils and papers across desks and things, because we live in the 50s.
Exactly.
When many of these stereotypes were really pushed into the American way of life.
Yeah. As well as other places. Because, I mean, as bad as it is here, man, don't even get me started on things like the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're perfect, but strikingly low amount of genital mutilation, kind of a positive.
Yeah. Or, some countries which don't allow women to actually drive.
Or do anything, which is kind of unfair to the men. I mean, sure, it makes you feel all kinds of manly if you're doing all the work and bringing the money in, but, when's your fucking day off? Shit.
Yeah. Or, how about the, women that aren't allowed to show anything other than a little bit of skin up here, and I don't know if it's really more insulting to them or to men, because the reasoning behind it is that men can't control themselves and will rape every woman they see that has more skin showing than...
Well, I don't know how you handle business, but,
It's a long work day for you, getting from place to place,
I gotta keep looking down all the time like this, because I can't look around, otherwise I'll just be groping everybody.
Man...
All hands.
Guy sees an ankle and, Jesus Christ, that's why the police exist,
Yeah, that's why I can't go to Amish country anymore. Accidentally caught a glimpse of some ankle, and oh boy. Probably a couple of Amish kids look just like me somewhere.
Yeah,
anyway, I was saying.
I think we're gonna maybe cut this one off as it is right now.
Yeah. I don't think we've rambled on enough about it. It's just one of those things that, it's not going to change until society has a violent shift. And that's true with a lot of things. Like the organized religion thing, that's basically the entire United States of America. All these loudmouth churchgoers are just blasting at everybody that this is God's country. America is a Christian nation, but it's really not. It's not supposed to be anything.
No, it was founded to basically get away from persecution by religion. And ironically enough, today, people think that today is a Christian nation.
Yeah. But, it's just it's a same violent shift. We're going to have to adjust a lot of people's thinking before this stops being an issue.
Exactly.
And it's not going to stop being an issue anytime within our lifetimes. Probably not in the kids' lifetimes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know why? Because women don't like violence. Thanks for watching another episode of Unreal Talk.
Keep getting cut off and censored. I feel really oppressed right now.
Have a good one.
See ya.